it is, but
does this look like a similar idea from Fnatic that MINESKI had in the first game, though?
Here because it's easy to do that because if you win game one, you as an analyst you automatically focus like on the team that won, and you're like, wow, they're so brilliant. But I mean, I think it was really just a lifestealer thing. So
I can see this game being super one-sided to the favor of Fnatic, despite how pessimistic, because there's no disables, they've got a snowball factor, they've got superior team fight, and they've got a core that's naturally just going to accelerate with every single successful team fight they get.
And a much easier time finding the one kill into the next. Like, they have a lot of cheap and easy disables. CK, Rift, Stun, Tree Root, Storm Zip, like, if you go either way.
You got to go Roche early if you're MINESKI. And if they do, then I can see them winning. Otherwise, I would go with Fnatic.
Okay, all right, good stuff. Thanks, gents. Time to head back to the Spodek Arena and inside the arena for game number 2. Enjoy, everyone. Fnatic versus MINESKI.
Are you lost?
Fnatic versus MINESKI, game 2 ready to go here in the Spodek Arena. And folk, we're seeing a bit of a turn at the tables. The Storm Spirit now falling into the hands of Fnatic. It's going to be, of course, Abed upon it. One of his sort of signature heroes in the past. The panel seeming a little less sold on the Storm, though, this game in comparison to how good of a Storm game it was for Moon in game 1.
Yeah, MINESKI does have like they were saying, a bit of a push lineup kind of going with them, with this Chen, with the Troll, with the Nature's Prophet, who of course is a core hero, so that's how you know it's going to be played at a very fast pace, and that's the way they're going to be wanting to play. Get kills, get towers early on, get a big advantage. Don't let Fnatic slow the pace of the game down for this Storm, and further Phoenix and Tree, the combo that we haven't seen in a pretty long time actually. The Tree Phoenix combo, which allows you to get that egg off pretty much guaranteed in a lot of the fights. Don't let them slow the pace down for them to use that at every single fight. Play fast pace.
30 seconds.
High octane Dota on the side of MINESKI, and they're putting a Jug mid. So that's an interesting approach already. The Jug mid versus that Storm Spirit. So he can threaten kills with the Blade.
Top, we'll see down bottom. Pie's going to define favor of himself so he can tank up, get the regen going, stand his ground, take the bounty rune away. Bottom, as Ahjit will punch into Jabs. But Jabs was able to pick up the bounty rune before himself was pushed this area of the map.
3 for 1 for MINESKI though.
It is indeed. I mean, so talking about the tree, what is the reason we don't really see
that immunity, but yeah, the hero got lots of nerfs.
We could see this whole sort of area cleared up, or at least the area where they want to try and farm Ahjit. Knowing with that constant punch coming out of the Nature's guys. Mid lane, yeah, we'll see how well Moon can do against the Storm Spirit's pressure.
Yeah, the scary thing is this, right? You can't push the wave out as frequently on the side of Moon. If he spins, it's got a long cooldown at that level 1. I believe it's like 40 something, 42, I believe, yeah. And the Remnant's just constantly going to be shoving it under, and you're going to be able to harass that Juggernaut quite a bit. So you should see Abed pull ahead out of this one, unless he dies. That's the one thing that Jug can turn the favors. He can set up a kill if Abed steps up a bit, or if any type of rotation does come into play. So we see those Quelling Blades coming into play bottom. They've cut now like 7 or 8 of those trees, and they're going to continue to do so on that left side just to make sure that Jabs can't be enough.
Cut it open so they can start to make the side pulls, but the water's down from Fnatic, so they've been able to take control of that pull. I'm sure that it's harder for MINESKI to regain lane equilibrium down on the bottom lane in their favor.
I don't think they're going to be able to actually put any pressure onto Ahjit here with this lane. This tree plus Tree plus Pugna versus the Chen with the Troll. If it was a Troll plus something else, the thing is he has a Chen, so he has so much extra sustain that the Pugna's harassment doesn't really do too much, and MP's actually struggling to get last hits down here. Mid lane going for Fnatic, but the other two, you can see the denies 14 and 9 on Nature's Prophet to 14-0. Yeah, just constant divine favors on Ahjit and full free farm.
Yeah, pretty much easily outdoes any sort of harassment damage done by the blast ice. Let's get blocked off by a Sprout. Febby won't hit the stun, but with the body blocks, the Diabolic Edict, that'll be enough to find first blood for MINESKI. Febby had a fantastic game in Sure, you've got the 6, but very hard really for the Storm to find any place to get active. Yeah, he's got to focus on the farm. He's getting away with it.
I mean, it's only 8 minutes, so they don't have those available just yet, as Abed will make.
To have their attention drawn down here as they can just continue to get this push back on. As you said, without the ults, very unlikely Fnatic's going to do anything about the tier 1. Maybe the tier 2's in trouble as well. We'll see how hard they push it.
I mean, Kyle mentioned on the panel, right? What's the deep push coming out from the side of Fnatic? The Pugna is the only one who really can't do this. Sure, Phoenix, you can throw some spirits and stuff, which is going to help a little bit, but they've got a healing ward, so they can counteract that.
Strolling highlight dive. He'll bring down the jet. 2 kills for Fnatic. Can they get more? Blade Fury attempted by Moon as he'll head towards DJ. Ferry gets first down by DJ. Fnatic just found 3. The ball from Ahjit drags Moon forward. They get the Omni Snatcher, but it doesn't matter as Fnatic hold hands, stand together, tank the damage, and will kill the Jug as Fnatic get together and can put a success. to bring down Pi. There's a double kill for Abed is found, but Fnatic now starting to steam ahead in kills. That early pace that MINESKI was able to set is now being matched, and Fnatic coming well and truly into the game with Abed now sitting on the top as it's
from lane to lane. They have the MP or Ice constantly shoving in one of them, and then the other three running around just looking for fights.
we're seeing a bit of a turn of the season.
High ground before he died.
He got his job done. He was able to take it away in time. But yeah, DJ's Phoenix it's a scary threat. I mean, as mentioned by the panel, DJ sort of the some of the talent choices we're seeing as well. Of course, for Moon, getting that Blade Fury movement speed, I think it's especially strong in a game where you have something like the Supernova. Now you can Blade Fury, you're going to have that extra movement to easily close the gap on getting on top of it and making sure you have the chance to strike it down.
That talent just seems so much better.
Yeah.
Like 20 attack speed, sure,
I mean, what's
you're limited,
attack speed? Is
yeah. Like the mobility you can actually get from this, the Blade Fury thing, just seems so damn good.
Yeah. Plus 50 is a lot.
It's like unless you're already like you already have so many like movement speed items, which he kind of does, but it's still just a really strong blade for the reasons that you mentioned. And just sticking on top of Pugna. Like Pugna's fast hero. You can stick on Pugna.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, you just stay spinning on him. He can't actually do anything to decrep and halt that. As they have actually healed this top tower quite a bit, but now MINESKI, they're gonna make sure that they can clear it.
And back on with the push. Took him a bit of time to get in. I mean,
that he can not have to worry about that Pugna, the decrep, so he can just always focus on MP, because he was actually chasing the Pugna for a bit inside of that fight, and then he just was like, I can't actually do anything because he can just decrep no matter what I do when my spin is down. So he actually had to turn, and actually probably was better because it let him focus on that Phoenix. As MINESKI, they want to keep this pressure out. They have their lanes in good spots.
They do, and they've got the BKB on Ahjit's troll too now.
Yeah.
So he's pretty much invincible in these fights against the lineup of Fnatic.
Level 18 now on Moon 2 with that Blink Dagger and Manta, so he can get into those backlines, get his positioning perfect for how he wants it in the fight.
They can strike in the mid lane. Fnatic themselves are keeping themselves close together.
They just picked up a full mech on the Pugna, so they have their own way of counteracting that heal that the Chen did have before. Or, you know, having their own anyway.
My thrift rewarded.
Nice. Getting closer and closer to his own BKB. So will he be able to stay alive that little bit more with the amount of strength that he'll get from the armor and the BKB. He'll have some pretty powerful phantasms. Left alive, Sun's going to lay down the hot now. As she goes up towards the high ground, dive for DJ's got the Supernova, and then they went to MINESKI, can kill the power. Look at the wave, they've run away from the sun, it's coming out, that's a trench, that's the corner. Buyback from Pylon over, they've lost KP for 40 seconds, he's without buyback. Ahmed tips out, Ahjit pops the BKB, he's trying to get himself on top of Ice, but he's low on health and mana. He can't commit too far outside of the base, Ice, drags back Moon. Hunter style pop for Fnatic. They're poking and prodding at MINESKI outside of the base. 2 buybacks already used. He's going to head forward, Moon. Commits with the Blaze Fury to take down the Pugna Ward. And the Root holding back the CK. He's so low, the Juggy can't get out, he's dead. They'll lose the Juggernaut for a minute. He does have buyback. Fnatic, they're going to dive in. He may be forced to do so. He has. Moon will buy back.
They have to get some kills out of this.
Fnatic over this last sort of 30 seconds of playing 4-3. Jump forward. They're trying to go for the commitment. Only Slash comes out onto Ice. He's so tanky, but it won't die. They get the kill off the CK. Silence onto MP. Blade Fury from Moon. Chases down DJ. DJ with the Sogray. Getting himself outside of the map. The Blade Fury. No, he's going to bring the DJ down. The Sogray TP. DJ escapes.
Oh my god, and they get Ahjit in the back lines there just before he actually popped Battle Trance, gets Uled, and then just a quick blast from the Pugna. He's able to clean him up, and that's, like you just said, the buyback from Moon.
Buybacks, that's these little pressures from Fnatic. 3 buybacks out, that will start to elevate them a little bit and go 3k lead jumps up for them.
Fnatic got themselves the perfect setup. They had all 5 of their heroes there before MINESKI did, and KP, he got jumped instantly, did not have buyback, just died right away at the fight. Sure, he threw the Orchid out onto, I can't actually remember which hero he did. He threw the Orchid out, but then just gets blown up immediately. And the Jug too. You saw Moon was trying to play inside the tree lines there with the spin to get his blink off, and then just gets immediately Orchid from the Storm. And whew.
They've got to be careful now, MINESKI. With those buybacks on the side, they may even have to sort of slow things down and try and play for the next rush.
Yeah, I don't think they can let Fnatic just... Team fight for Fnatic is still very strong with their Tree Phoenix. With that full Shivas too.
Yeah, 5v5 seems almost impossible for MINESKI to take unless they can get a quick pick off at the start.
Yeah. And now they have full Greaves on the Pugna too, so that's the extra heal that they're gonna have inside of the fights too. They're just getting so much tankier, as I believe it's a full BKB now for Ice, so he's gonna feel pretty safe inside of those fights, as it's sticking onto him is super difficult.
And Abed's very close to having his own. There's about 3,100 gold at the moment on the Storm. If they can just win on that, get his... across to pop down some wards. He's down with the healer, but it's back, went back control for now. He gets dragged by the rift, and Ahmed 6 straight forward. Well, Ahjit has to pop the BKB in the ult to stay alive. They've got the healing award as well to help DJ dive forward. Trying to get it done. Can he kill the touch? Got the blade through. Couple more hits will bring down the super. They do. They kill the sun. Ice with the BKB. The stun out committing as he's lost himself on top of the target of KP. KP's still alive. He's going to finally fall. They'll lose KP, but it's a 1-for-1. And MINESKI trying their best to find more. They're onto Ice. To grab a fight. He's trying to toggle his way out of it, but Ahjit is chasing, hunting in the trees. Again, the armlet. Ice still alive for a little bit. Again, the armlet toggles from Ice. It's not enough though. They finally finish him off. As MINESKI will manage to slow down Fnatic. Taking 2, only losing KP. They get that at Supernova. It's so hard for DJ. If he goes for it any time that the Jug's sort of anywhere near him, Moon's instantly in with the Manta, Blade Fury, and on top of him.
Yeah, they got the control too. They got the overgrowth.
Style that they're ready to react to it every time. They cannot hold that Jug away from the Supernova.
And look at Abed's mana pool inside of this fight. That's the important thing. Like, you see he's completely out of mana. He was actually only like, after that first zip forward,
big initial zip?
Yeah, he was sitting at like halfway and also half HP, so he kind of had to bail at this fight, out of this fight pretty quickly after that Supernova goes down.
It's pretty crazy toggles here from Ice. As he's able to sort of toggle through the Blade Fury and everything as well. That even being decrepified, there's a lot of damage to work through.
Yeah.
But of course, yeah, not enough to quite get him back to safety.
Ooh, you know the other thing that they actually do have now? they have ganking potential to look for the Storm when he is split pushing on the sides of the map. With KP, with an Orchid and Shadowblade, and a Blink Nullifier on Moon, they're going to be able to just throw the double combo on him, and then the Storm is just... He's screwed if he is split pushing.
Abed's just got to be ready.
He's got to need the Lincolns.
Be very quick with the BKB. As soon as he gets silenced, he has to be prepared for the fact that Moon may be about to follow up the silence with another fire. You have to BKB straight away.
That's the key of the Blink Dagger, right? The Blink plus the Shadowblade. They can actually look to catch this Storm. So Abed might switch. He has a Hex queued up right now, which is an amazing item in Storm, but he might switch just to try to defend himself a little bit if he sees those two items get picked up. Or if he sees at least the Nullifier get picked up in first.
Fnatic ready to go. Ults back online. Lead over the map with the smoke. MINESKI on the high ground towards the top, and that is the Nullifier just picked up by Moon. Who gets to jump on who? Both teams smoked here. You can tell they almost can read where they are. Highlight will dispel the smoke as he heads in on the front. Who's going to make the jump?
Instantly.
Put the run of Atos down onto White side. Shiva's God's going to be committed by DJs. Dives forward. Moon still holding back under the Invis rune on the high ground.
They both instantly killed the Obs wards. Both these teams have been doing that like every single time in these fights. They put down an Obs and a Sentry right at the start of the fight to see the back lines, but it gets taken out right away as well. So
Moon, he's actually the one leading the charge here as he gets down onto the low ground.
Middle tower is under
Closer
attack.
to the line of Fnatic, ready to pounce. Ahjit's going to reveal himself. MP's going to go quick with the crest fight. Dagon bursting down to low, but in fact the jump ball from Moon. He's in with another fire. Straight away trying to finish up the target with the only set. The play through from Manny kills. It's going to be MP dead for 70 seconds. Ahjit pops the battle charge. Dive forward from DJ. He's holding on to that for that supernova. Has to get himself away from the jug if he wants to try and commit with it. The Nullifier is down on Ahmed. Zip up the high ground. The supernova next. Can they kill him? The supernova. They got the ball next on to Moon. The supernova is going to go. And that it is. DJ gets the supernova on the entirety of MINESKI. They've lost the jug. They've lost KP. 2 dead on MINESKI. Ahjit still trying to fight towards that side. Ahmed on the side. At the silence on to Femi. Let's Rack is dead. Side stands the troll. Jumps out MINESKI. Get ready to fall through as they drag it back. Spirit vessels down the bottom. Side dropping items in front of his face. And 4 die on MINESKI.
DJ. Thank God that he was level 18 at that fight. Look how much damage he put out as well. 8,300 from the Phoenix. DJ. If he wasn't level 18 there, that egg dies.
And that positioning, getting them, bringing the fight up towards that stair area.
I didn't actually see if there was any like uphill misses or anything like that, but just the overload slow was enough and a huge turnaround.
Rush now.
That fight looked like it might have been MINESKI's favor until that point for sure.
It's a big step there, Ahmed. He's also going to be able to pick up a regen rune for his bottle.
Oh, dream. Aegis cheese and a full regen.
So Ahmed, he's going to have essentially at least 3 lives ready to play around with, 3 full mana pools in the next fight.
If there was any contest of DJ being MVP in this game now, we're all gonna know if Fnatic does win.
4k gold too, as he queues up the Lotus Orb, he's able to buy it straight up. So now he's got that extra way to make sure that Abed stays safe as well in the fights.
Yeah, 7, 2, and 17. I mean, also himself. Now the thing that was concerning for him is, oh god, if I get Orchided, maybe they can focus fire me. Now you just remove it, and he can always get his egg off safely too. He's 7, 2, and 17, involved in 24 of the 27 kills for his team. Great performance.
MINESKI, they do still have, of course, fantastic farm on the Juggernaut. The Moon, he's been playing well. Pi, he had to grab the bounty rune, probably will pay with his life. But he got the job done, he'll get the bounty. He'll say it's worth it. Fnatic, they are going to try and chase, see if they can catch more kills. He's out. Oh man, he's going to be on a zip-in fight there. The less rack will be left behind. Fnatic. Looking down, both supports outside of the base. Pushing and forcing MINESKI to go and fall back into their defensive position.
Such a massive momentum swing, just looking at the graphs. You can see the moment that the egg exploded.
Oh my goodness. A huge drop off for MINESKI. Are continuing to manage to find big items on their cores though.
Yes.
As, well, we have Ahjit. He has the complete Satanic. So himself, he's got the Battle Trance, the Satanic to rely on to keep him alive in the fights.
Now he's got that higher, that status resist, that 41.2 status resist. This is the build we saw a long time, SNY Satanic, when it first got changed. So he can stick on targets a little bit easier, because it's been pretty hard for them to stick on targets as is versus Fnatic. as Abed. I believe that's the full Hex. Yep, full Hex now finished up 2 on top.
Boy. I mean, as we say, if DJ throws the Lotus down onto him, Abed can just go in. There's not really too much he has to be worried about with the way that his team's dynamite behind him as Fnatic. Ice, popping the Phantasm. They're up to the high ground.
He keeps always microing one of the illusions back first to try to trick them a little bit too.
Dragging an Ahjit. This range Rex taking quite a beating. Fnatic continue to push, letting arm onto Ice, making him a very tanky target to try and tackle if they do want to commit on him. They will not, they'll hold back. They'll lose the range Rex in from Ahmed. He gets the hex off straight away. They're over the jump, they drag it back, and they're going to be able to kill him at time. The Island's going to be Moon dead without buyback. Quick moves from Ahmed, as Moon was not prepared for the instant Hex initiation from the Storm.
And now KP top as well. They're looking to set up with the dust. They should be able to chase him out here. The damage isn't going to be enough. It's not.
He's back to base. We'll be able to TP out. The bounce in, heal kicking in.
But they get Moon with that Hex reveal, and they get themselves the racks as well.
Now an 11k lead for Fnatic. It's going to take some tricky plays from MINESKI to get themselves back in control of this game, and not something that's impossible to do. They do have elements like the Nature's Prophet. The split pressure's always going to be there.
But they can't win fights, and it's just going to get harder and harder with how tanky these heroes are getting. Look, Ice has a full heart, and look at the next item. Like I was mentioning,
as you said,
the Aghanims for that Storm Spirit. If he's able to get that, there is no way that they're going to be able to kill this egg. They already are having severe problems killing it. With this on top too, it's going to be devastating. If they even get to that point. Because right now they're already strong enough that they can't breach, as it's still 30 seconds before the Jug is even alive.
Every time just pushing with some Ice on the front. How do you stop this? You know that anybody you send forward to try and tackle the CK, it's just going to get initiated upon by Abed.
And it's scary too, right? They get initiated on, and then a 4-second stun follow-up can be more than enough with that Hex. They have a lot of burst damage that can't come out from Fnatic now. And also with Jabs even having a Blink Dagger too, so positioning for the Treant Protector with level 3 overgrowth is much easier.
Radiant's top shrine.
So many ways to protect this egg.
Gon being leveled up.
Double damage.
Double damage being grabbed by Abed.
Really feeling super difficult for MINESKI to actually take any of these type of fights. You see KP is just desperately trying to split push because they just don't have the options as they did before. Like before, they could have maybe gone for those silences onto DJ, but yeah, Lotus Orb and they can't actually leave the base with 4 heroes at the moment. It's just KP.
It's so hard, even for KP, that there is a Storm in the game. Anytime he shows there's a lot of threat that Abed can pose on him.
They saw Storm top, so immediately they smoke themselves up and they get that scan on the high ground. But Fnatic, they're still positioned here.
They're going to turn towards Pilot Eye. Pilot Eye is throwing it. It's some sort of vision move onto the map. He's going to pop the Omni Slash as well, trying to cover it. But the Phantom is just tanking it all here. He's in the Lotus mess, got the entirety of the combo baby. Force practice move also burns him down. They'll get more of this one. Looks as the overgrowth holds him down. The situation of the BKB's arm is still trying to play around with, and he'll take down Moon. 2 dead on MINESKI. If there has to be a fire from Juggy, the sun comes out in the GG. It's all too much for MINESKI in this game 2, and Fnatic will push the series to a game 3.
Fight looked impossible, and throw insult to injury. He actually got the Lotus Orb on the Pugna before the Omni Slash went out. So Pugna was also Omni Slashing during that fight. Fnatic with a crisp, I mean not fully crisp,